This mutation is called Beggars Can't Be Choosers, and it is being played on lock and load. We have 3 mutators active. We have Mag-nificent, we have Slim Pickings, and we have Minesweeper. I think this mutation is mostly annoying, I think more than difficult. The Slim Pickings mutator provides a lot of late game pressure for players. You can see there are a few mines there and a couple of probes. I think those were 2 probes that have already been lost as a result of Minesweeper. So one of the things that you normally would want to do on a mutation with Mag-nificent, which spawns these mag mines, is that you probably want to have a probe or a worker moving around and scouting and, you know, triggering these things off so that when your units actually come out, they are not being killed off by these mag mines. But unfortunately, because Minesweeper is also available, you can see, it's kind of difficult to see. I can't really show you any of the little holes that get created on the map's terrain, but you can actually see these minefields over here. You can see here what they look like. So because these mines are actually on the site here, it's very difficult to clear these mag mines out, and this is why this mutation is a little bit more difficult than it would normally be. But anyway, let's have a look at the masteries. The masteries here, we have Zeratul with the Zeratul attack speed, the Artifact Spawn mastery, and the Legion cooldown, or the Legion cost reduction. For Stetmann has gone for the Gary cooldown, 2010 into the stat zone bonuses and the egonergy, and then we have an 18 and a 12 split here into the Statellite cooldown and morph and evolution rate. This is actually an interesting mastery selection. I am not sure why exactly those ones have been selected. Usually speaking, the morph rate is a little bit faster, but I guess if you are going for a hero-centric build, then maybe the Statellite cooldown might be a little bit better to get your stat zones spread out and about. And for here, the stat zone bonuses are usually better. The egonergy pool is not very useful if you are going for a hero-centric build. I believe when I was submitted this replay, I was told this is mostly a hero-centric build from both these players. There might be a few units scattered around, but that is generally what the selections are here. Now, we also have a bunch of talents selected for these commanders. We have the best buddy, which is Gary's health and damage increase, but Gary's movement speed is reduced by 90% outside set zone. So basically Gary is going to be limited by the location of where his stat zones are. But once he has Super Gary out, being able to spread those stat zones with the Gary zone ability actually is very, very useful. You can see Zeratul is using his talent as well. His prestige selection here for Zeratul is that he has a tornado ability basically, but he's only limited to 2 artifact fragments throughout the course of this game. You can see there are a bunch of mag mines here that are causing a few problems. Gary is still not up to Super Gary, which is really important here for these players. Getting Super Gary out, you see how slow he's moving outside those stat zones. But there we go. Super Gary is now getting ready to spawn. What is going on with that mine? I have absolutely. I think it landed like in this gap here and just ended up falling off the terrain. That was kind of weird. But the first lock has been captured right now, and Zeratul is already getting ready to start clearing out this next site. He has to be again a little bit careful. The mag mines are problematic. The minefields from Minesweeper do not have detection by themselves, so the Wither mines will not proc on Zeratul if he's invisible. The only risk is if there is a detector nearby, such as if there is a photon cannon that can be somewhat problematic. You can see one Igor over there just dealing so much damage to these units, and this is why this prestige talent is really, really good. One of those Igorbs will just completely wipe out a huge number of units in the attack wave. There are a few more minefields as well triggering on Super Gary, but Gary is just completely unfazed, and he's just going to keep pushing through. There's one random Colossus here, one random Stalker having a look around, but that Stalker is that Stalker going to get hunted down? He has to be very careful with these things. These mag mines are what can cause the Minesweeper, the minefields from the Minesweeper mutator are the things that can cause a few problems for these commanders. But this lock has also been cleared right now, and so far, yeah, 3 probes lost, and I don't think there's anything in players' production. Yeah, they are not going to be producing anything here. They are going for the Hero Solo build. Hero Solo with Zeratul and Stetmann. Stetmann Super Gary is really, really good. Zeratul, you know, he might be kind of good with the with the tornado ability, but personally I'm not really a big fan of Zeratul. So there are a few heroes that are a little bit better. You can see a bunch of probes also dying off from were those probes? There were a bunch of drones here that ended up dying off from this Minesweeper minefield here. So when you are playing this mutation, you have to be a little bit careful with how you are, with where you are moving around the map, because those minefields deal a lot of damage. There are Spire Mines and there are Widow Mines as well. So you can see Super Gary is going to start pushing through. And yeah, just one of those Igors pretty much wipes out that carrier, brings it down to about 50% HP. He's going to end up cleaning out the rest. There's another attack wave coming up here now. And now we have a bunch of tornado abilities. And let's see, yeah, like I guess it's kind of doing okay. I don't know how many of these units actually ended up dying from those tornadoes. But we do have now these units that are attacking some of Zeratul scans they split down, but Super Gary does teleport over and he is going to help clear out this area. This lock has actually not been cleared out, so Zeratul or Stetmann will have to try and clear that lock out before they try and cap it. Zeratul did end up going down as a result of that attack wave though, so Super Gary now is basically, see how slow he moves outside the stat zone. That is why That is one of the downsides of that talent. He's very much locked into those stat zones, but he can use his Gary Zone ability to get him into position. So he's going to be moving around here, and he will be, yeah, he'll be clearing out the rest of these zealots while he waits for Zeratul to respawn. Also, side note here, while we are waiting for this mission to happen, I fixed the co-op overlay. I fixed this thing over here, and yeah, it was a result of patch number 5.0. When Blizzard released the PTR, I had someone check whether they fixed this bug, and it turned out they did not fix it. So I posted a bug report on the PTR forums that Blizzard actually fixed this bug now. So hopefully all of Super Gary's ability, or all of Zeratul's abilities, will be displayed. The only thing that will not be displayed is the cooldown time when the Telverse Legion gets used. Unfortunately, that one has some other screwy things that are going on behind the scenes with Zeratul. So that one will not be displayed, but yeah, the observer interface should be a lot better now when it comes to seeing Zeratul's abilities. But yeah, now that this lock has been cleared, let's go back on topic. Now that this lock has been cleared, Zeratul and Gary will be pushing up towards this eastern lock here. And where is Zeratul? Zeratul is going to try and intercept this attack wave, so let's see how he chooses to intercept here. We have a few tornadoes, but you can see why I'm not really much of a fan of the tornadoes. The attack wave doesn't really stay still, and these tornadoes, even though they do try and catch these units out, as long as the key units keep moving, they take, you know, obviously a little bit less damage. Immortal just picks off that one cannon here for Zeratul, but Super Gary has been able to clear out the Hybrid Dominator that is sitting on this lock, so that is basically the most dangerous unit around that lock area, so we'll be able to clear that out. The one thing that the Tornadoes does help Zeratul with is it gives him a little bit of splash damage, and especially when he's casting his swipey move ability, I can't remember what it's called. When he's casting the ability, he's able to spam the tornadoes a little bit, so it does increase his damage output a little bit. I guess for a hero solo, I think that is a good choice if you're going for Zeratul. But Zeratul is not the standard hero solo kind of commander. But yeah, what do we have? Yeah, we have 3 cannons lost. This is basically a hero solo game for the most part, I think. All we have produced now is just a bunch of set zones for Super Gary, and yeah, Zeratul and the drone now will be capping this lock. There's still an ally required, so Zeratul will have to send in a bunch of probes over, and he has to be very careful with these mag mines, and especially if there is detection. One of the things is when you're playing against a Protoss composition is that they will send observers as detectors, and as you know, observers are close. Super Gary might end up getting killed. No, he's going to end up saved here. But yeah, they will send observers over, and Zeratul can end up dying as a result of those observers just randomly parking themselves over Zeratul and giving vision to the Minesweeper mutator fields that are spread around the map. And you see Zeratul did end up dying. I'm not sure what killed him off there. It might have been the Spire Mine. Spire Mines deal a lot of damage as well. Stetmann's Super Gary, on the other hand, is a very good choice for this mutation because first of all, his auto attacks are outside the range of outside of the minefield range. But the other thing is Super Gary also is a detector, so he He's an all-in-one package solution for dealing with Minesweeper. His teleport a little bit too close to that Widow Mine does end up proccing on Super Carry, but that minefield will end up getting cleared. A few more Immortals here, and now we have the Telbrus Legion that's coming in. We use their Whirlwind ability and end up cleaning out that Immortal. That Telbrus Legion is going to take an extreme battering from the minefield here. But one E-Gorb, and that is the end of that minefield. So there's one last lock to clear, and Zeratul again has to be really, really careful. Those Fire Mines deal so much damage. That's why I was talking about that aspect of detection causing problems for Zeratul here. Zeratul does blink out of the way, and I think his immortality or his invulnerability passive had procced on that Spire Mine, so he does end up not dying off from that minefield. But again, he has to be so careful. Those minefields are spread across the map. You see there's another one over here in front of a bunch of detectors. Super Gary jumps in, soaks up the Widow Mine damage, which is really nice, but Zeratul's main threat is not the Widow Mines. The Widow Mines don't really deal that much damage. They deal a little bit of splash. It's those Spire Mines that end up one-shotting your army, and that is the last lock that has to be cleared. Super Gary is somewhat outside the field right now. There are a few more Mag Mines that are being triggered, and yeah, I think this is the last lock that needs to be captured. There are no attack waves, and both these commanders are pretty much in position and ready to cap this lock. Zeratul is going to end up clearing out here. There is a random stalker that is trying to stop these commanders from capping the locks, because that is a change of one of the changes that Blizzard has done to the AI. Is when you start capping these locks, any enemy unit that Amon has will be pushed towards the lock, and they will try and stop you from capping it. That was a result of the Artanis Raynor cheese that occurred on this map a very long time ago now. But yeah, those are all the locks captured. Zeratul obviously limited to only the 2 artifacts, but those are all the locks done. And that is this mutation done as well. Really frustrating, very difficult, but this is a hero solo, and that is GG.